The problem comes from if you latch to the side of something, you have to hold up or down. If you latch horizontally onto a block, so to demonstrate here, I can move left or right here, but if I latch onto here, moving left and right does nothing. I have to move left and up. Or, not left and up and down to be able to move. And anytime you stop with the spider ball, you have to re-input where you want to move to. And since we're here, I might as well take on this Metroid here. So this is where the spider ball becomes confusing. How it was latched on there on one of those quarter tile slabs. You don't really know which way you need to move. But right here we have our new Metroid. And I'm trying to do something interesting. So yes, by firing a missile at an unactivated Metroid, you get an extra free hit in. It helps. Just, you can't stack damage with it. It's one missile, and then you've already just gotten that. It won't take any more until you've activated the fight properly, nor will it count as having taken damage from that first missile until the fight starts. So, now let's quickly go a bit of a roundabout path. So, I'm going to head down quickly. I could have done this sooner, and with some talent, I could have gotten a bunch of power-ups quickly. So, moving all the way over here, we have another door. 5 missiles opens it for us, and what do we get? Our ice beam is back. The ice beam's a bit of a double-edged sword, much like the first game. The first shot is reserved for freezing the enemy, anything after that will help defeat it. So enemies that took 1 shot before now take 2. Except for wallfires. They're a specific vein of enemy that only ever takes 1 damage to take out. So with that, we can now head... Well, if I didn't screw up on platforming, we can head up this way. I ignored this originally because I wanted to show off the spider ball first, and by going in here after the spider ball, we can grab 1 extra power-up that doesn't... That's unobtainable without it, or without some tricky jumping. Because, much like Metroid 1, if you drop a power bomb, or regular bomb, and then jump, you'll get some height. But you need to place it in a specific way. Or you can do what I just did there and get into a respawning block. So yeah, 3 missiles in 1 room. What is this, Norfair? But hold on, there is more. Yeah, heading up, we can grab 2 more missile tanks. Okay. I'm very sorry, I had to sneeze. And I've been trying to, be better about that. Rather than just trying to move my head as far away from the mic as possible, which, in some cases, I can't physically do. I've been trying to mute my mic, and ever since I learned that Metroid Fusion's Ep.2, has the problem where my mic is muted the entire, most of the video. Yeah, I'm wary about muting my mic now. So yes, we got ourselves 2 extra missile upgrades. Now, we just have 3 more Metroids to defeat before we can call ourselves done here. So if you were having problems with shoot leeches before, they're a bit easier to take out with the ice beam. Same with other enemies. Hey, a moving target is harder to hit than a non-moving target. Plus, if you were having trouble with these enemies, well, say no more. And yeah, I keep forgetting that their name's Scaron. Just, some enemies' names stick better with me. I mean, if we get Dragon Quest IX, I'll easily remember most enemies' names. But right now it's the Metroid block, so I'm playing primarily Metroid games. And I really hope Snow isn't angry at me for basically doing just that. For those of you who don't know, Snow is the talented artist who handles the thumbnails for my videos and some editing for videos. She's the one who's been editing the Persona 2 Let's Play that's been going on. So, I'd appreciate it if you would head over to her channel and check out her art. Especially if you really like what she does. So, shameless plug for the amazing artist out of the way. I don't like situations like that. About as much as I dislike sand. Yeah, we have sand. You dig through it by shooting it with your beam. Nope. So just to address it, if you don't defeat an enemy you've frozen with the ice beam, eventually they will thaw, and they'll just have, well, died. Yeah, those are brambles. They're essentially a lava for the game. If you step into them, you'll take damage as long as you're in them. And I will say, you can destroy brambles, but their hitbox is finicky, so sometimes destroying them doesn't actually destroy them. And you'll still take damage. So, the reason I went to the right, we got a Metroid here. One that's just begging to be volleyballed. And I didn't need to use the ledge of safety. Yeah, Alpha Metroids and ledges don't get along together. Same with Alpha Metroids and tight and closed corridors. So, now we gotta make our way back. There's a lot of backtracking to do in this game. More than in Metroid 1, where the most of your backtracking would be, oh, I went the wrong way. So yes, heading down this way, we got another two. Now, both paths lead to a Metroid fight. The only difference is, if you head to the left, it's a bit longer before you can... excuse me. It's a bit longer before you can fight the Metroid. Whereas to the right, it's in the same room. Up. And I think that just reset the fight. Yeah. There we go. Trying to use the volleyball method opens yourself up, as sometimes the Metroid will just be knocked back just in the right way to not continue the method. And if you miss a missile, well, that whole one missile on screen at a time thing kind of makes it so you're guaranteed to get hit if you stay in the right... in the same spot. So, yeah, heading right. There's our Metroid. Much like the earlier one I showed you. Yeah, that one's easy. And you can also use the ledge of safety if you ever get into a weird situation where it's to the left of you. And that was the last load-bearing Metroid, so now death fluid recedes. Well, where is it receding from? I really wanted that energy. Why? That little path we took to get in here. And that's not to say to anybody who is observant that, oh yeah, I'm just describing this just to fill air. That's for anybody who's just kind of listening to this in the background. Yeah, we passed by a giant pool of death fluid on our way into Sector 1. Oh. It's always disorienting when the spider ball gets involved. Come on. You gotta be very careful with corners. Yep. Oh, and if you are interested... I fumbled it. Don't need to do that because I didn't break the block yet. Yeah, we have an energy recharge station right here. Yeah, they're always seemingly placed out of the way like that. Like in the main room we came from to get here. And where we got all our missile upgrades, our energy tank, the spider ball, and the ice beam. If you travel along the ceiling in the giant room, you'll find an energy recharge and a missile recharge station up there. Now, these are defended by gulags, so you gotta time it just right, or else you'll be knocked out from the ceiling. Personally, I don't think it's worth it unless you really need the energy or the missiles. Besides, there are easier energy refill stations to get to. Like the one in your ship. Well, the ones in your ship. But later in the game, getting back to our ship isn't really a possibility for us. And I only say that because, well... this is the time before easy backtracking paths were added. And our music has returned to us. Heading down, we have Mohiques, Searoks, and maybe a new enemy waiting for us. Or it's just going to be Mohiques and Searoks. Yeah, we just continue on down. And I'm taking the time to quickly adjust something you guys won't be seeing. I have a map set up so that then I don't get lost. I don't remember the layout of SR388 that well. And having been playing, Christ, that was a horrible way of saying that. Since I've been playing the remake recently, the layout of that is different to this. So... I need the extra assistance to break the habit of going a specific way. Or, in the case of beam upgrades, much like Metroid 1, it's one beam at a time, so we aren't keeping the ice beam if we find a new one. Plus, we've just found our next death fluid patch. So, how many load-bearing Metroids do we need? A whopping 8. Thankfully, we'll be finding some just in a bit. So, we got some Yumbos here. and my bad habit of accidentally running into enemies when I jump. Okay, grab that. And going through this tunnel, yeah, we find ourselves with the Septog. You can't damage them and they can't damage you. The only downside is, if you stand on them for too long, they bury you in sand. That's only for the ones right here. But yeah, you can't damage them at all. Shooting them from above, below, top, nothing. And hey, they don't damage you, so I don't see any problem with this. Well, heading across this path. At this point, if you see me ready my missiles, you know what's coming up. Yep, we got a Metroid fight. Oh. Ah. Jerk. You had to come in from the one angle I didn't want to see. And this is just alpha Metroids. Of course there's going to be more. Yeah, Metroid 2 takes a lot off of, well, not a lot off of, a lot from Alien 2. As well as just the original Alien, but really Alien 2. So, now we find ourselves with Senjus. Yeah, these are also enemies I dislike. Senjus will hover in a diamond pattern. So they're basically the upgraded Gulags. Only downside, and major change, is Senjus will directly attack you. They will stop their pattern and home in on you if they see you. Thankfully, we have a save station here, so I can take a nice refreshing pause. And I'll be back shortly.